Hello, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we are. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
wonderful. Okay, yes. So I was telling that, have you used Amazon website, Amazon.com website? And I think most of you must have used Amazon.com website. What I was trying to emphasize is, have you noticed the amount of new products which are added on a daily basis to this website? So you can imagine there are thousands of products which are added on a daily basis, and how they are added in the backend, you might have some idea or you do not have any idea. So to give you a context to this is, those those websites whatever we are seeing, which are pertaining to different products, different features, are are somehow using a mechanism to give that features, give that products to you on a daily basis in in a very fast manner. Yeah, and that's the beauty of the DevOps. Yeah, so in the backend, what they are using is a DevOps framework mindset, which enables them to release new features, new um, products into the website, and give that without you noticing any kind of a lag, any kind of a issues. So in a nutshell, what is the problem we are trying to solve when we are talking about the DevOps? Yeah. So in today's world, anything and everything which is there is is software driven. Do you agree with me? Yeah.
Yes.
Everything is software driven, and just let me use the pen. Yeah. So everything is software driven, and because of this software driven nature of the modern application, everybody is getting a very fast response to any needs they have. And these softwares are running on a server. The server needs to be managed. Okay. And this is offered as a service to you. Now, have you noticed any kind of issues in Amazon.com website in recent years? I think most of you will answer no, correct? Because they have a very robust process in the backend, which gives you kind of a error prone system. Yeah. And to reach to that, they need to utilize certain principles, certain things, certain processes which will make them error prone. Now, if there is any kind of issues in that, and because of that, let's say during the prime day, they are not able to release the new products to the customer. What will be the issue? It is kind of a loss of money for them. Correct? Any delay which is going to be incurred into that product release is going to be a loss for Amazon. Yeah. So any time delay which is occurring in that process will be incurring any kind of loss. And because of these challenges, these issues, there can be some bottleneck in the application, in the delivery of that application. And that can actually create a lot of issues for your problem. Yeah. So these are some of the problems which can occur when you are trying to give any kind of a application delivery to the end user. Hmm? And there are obviously some footprints, there are symptoms. For example, if you have not tested your software, tested your application in lower environment. When I say lower environment, what is that? LE. Those are nothing but environment where you are going to test your application before it is released to the production environment. What is production environment? Production environment is nothing but which is live and being used by the customer. The application which is hosted on the different servers in the backend and serving the real time customer is nothing but a production environment. If there is any kind of a problem in the software, that can cause some kind of a outage, and that is not good for the business. Okay. Now, why we are saying that we have to test it in the lower environment? Now, as soon as you test anything in the lower environment, there is a likely chance that you are catching the errors, catching the defect in the early life cycle of the problem. Yeah, where you are doing multiple changes, multiple feature addition, and so on. And you are reducing the risk of taking those defect because they are solved in the early life cycle to the production. Yeah. So, so you are doing some kind of a diagnosis of those issues beforehand, before it is released to the production. And this is going to save lot of effort, energy. Hmm? So there can be some kind of problems which are only available in certain systems and not on the production, or you have tested everything in your lower environment but it broke in the production environment. Hmm? Then what will happen is people will start complaining that the people who are managing that this was a issue which was missed by the tester of the application. This was the issue which is missed by the developer of the application, and that leads to blame shifting, finger pointing. Okay, so these are few of the symptoms that which can lead to some kind of outages and are very prominent in the complete software lifecycle, development lifecycle, and it is also called as SDLC, software development lifecycle. The life cycle of releasing your application from lower environment and taking it all together to the production environment is nothing but your software delivery life cycle. Now, this can be for a lower environment and this can be also for the production environment. And in many cases, it can be due to manual errors. Hmm? It can be due to manual errors. Then what is the way of reducing the manual error? To introduce something called as automation. Yeah, automation. Okay. So because of all these challenges, your work and life balance is going to be disturbed because you are going to work on certain problems which have came during the planned progress or the development of an application, and you have to work extra hours. Okay, because of that, your quality of life actually also gets hampered. Okay, so these are few of the symptoms which I want to tell you when we are actually working on certain application development. Yeah, do you agree with me? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So why do this problem occurs? Yeah, why this is happening? Okay, what is the reason for it? Who has done this issue? Okay, and when did it occur? All those things are the things which we need to tackle and we need to handle in an efficient manner. Okay, this can be because of multiple things. One is there is lack of alignment between the business requirement. My business says that I want to release 1,000 products tomorrow. Okay, but the IT person does not have the right capacity to actually get all this product added to the databases and then into the application and then released to the production environment. Okay, so there is a mismanagement of the alignment between business and the IT people. Yeah, the business demanded that things which are out of the capacity of IT people. Yeah, there can be some kind of a cost implication which are associated. So the expectation of these two teams are different. Hmm? Then there can be inherent flaws in terms of the architecture of the particular software. Okay, it can be something called as monolithic architecture. Yeah, wherein you have a very huge dependency on that a giant piece of code. Yeah, how do you overcome that? So these are the things which will give you a answer that how do you overcome the problems which we are going to face in the software lifecycle, development lifecycle. Okay, and there's very famous quote that it worked in dev environment. Okay, it was absolutely um, working in the dev environment, but it it got busted in the production environment. Yeah. And for such kind of a solutions, we need some kind of a innovative solutions. Okay. And who can solve that innovative solution? It's you. It's you who are the aspiring superheroes. And I would call that as a DevOps superheroes. Okay. So do you want to be that DevOps superheroes to solve all the challenges, symptoms I have just shown you? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So we'll understand now what is DevOps, and we'll understand what is a typical definition of a DevOps. What is DevOps? How do we achieve the basic principles, and what are the different tenets of DevOps? Yeah. So there's a person called Patrick DeBois, who often called as a father of DevOps. He has coined this term in year 2009. Yeah. So it is nothing but an amalgamation of two words. One is development and one is operation. If you look at the definition of DevOps, it's a collaborative way of developing and deploying software. Hmm? Is a software development method that stresses communication, collaboration, and integration between a software developer and the IT people. So it is a combination of two different job roles, and they coming together and performing a work which will greatly improve the software development lifecycle, reduce error in the deployment of your application, and also serve your customer in a better manner. Got it? What is DevOps? Hmm? Yes? Yes. So few tenets of DevOps like this. You need to work together, and you will work together, then you will work better. Okay. Both of you need to think alike. Yeah. You do not need to work in silos. Silos is nothing but this person, whatever he is doing, this person does not know anything. Yeah. So that is silos. So we need to break those silos. We need to break those silos and work as a team, and then have shared responsibility. Hmm? So these are the few of the things which DevOps breaks, and we need to work together as a team. We need to have that mindset to actually get the things done. Now, to practice that, to actually implement that, there are certain concepts in DevOps. Those concepts are nothing but the DevOps principles, DevOps practices, and the DevOps tools. So principle, practices, and the tools. These are the three things in your hand to actually carry out this orchestration of a complete application development and then deployment. Okay. So let us look at what are different principles. The different principles are based upon something called as CAMS: culture, people, process, and tools. Okay. It is heavily dependent on creating a kind of a culture. Yeah. Yes. Lango, you have raised a hand. You want to ask anything?
Yeah, I just have a follow-up. So to summarize what you just said, about DevOps in one word, if I could say in one word to better
Mhm.
understand it, it's nothing but two teams that are collaborating together to develop a particular idea or software.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a combination of two skill set, and then utilize those skill set in a collaborative manner with a certain mindset that yes, I want to actually release this application. Then what are the things I need to take care in the process, and how do I do that with a collaborative environment? Hmm? So we have
Thank
to
you.
do based upon different principles where people, culture, process, tools plays a very important. Then another important aspect of the DevOps is the automation. Yeah, I have told you that there are certain manual errors, human errors, which can creep into the life cycle of the application development. That can be reduced by using something called as automation. Automation in terms of releasing your application, in terms of building your application, and in terms of development. You also need to have automation in something called as IAC. Yeah, IAC. Have you heard of this term, IAC? No? infrastructure as a code. What you do is you write code to build infrastructure. This is also one of the very critical component when it comes to the DevOps. Then whatever we are doing within the environment, whatever we are building, whether we are creating n number of servers, whether we are creating integration between different components, all those needs to be measured. Any thought why it needs to be measured? Anybody?
Scalability.
What?
Scalability.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
performance of infrastructure.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. So it is something like this. Yeah. When I am talking to you, okay, I am trying to get a feedback from you. I'm trying to get a feedback in terms of your understanding, in terms of getting the concept and so on. What we are doing? We are measuring the feedback. I am trying to measure the feedback and then change my course of telling you in different methods, in different way. So by using measurement, by using some kind of a traceability, by using some kind of a logs, you are able to check whether your system is performing as expected. Can I get more out of my system, and how I can improve the overall performance of my system. So measurement plays a very important part in the complete DevOps cycle. Okay, so you need to measure everything. You need to have a clear demarcation that what I am achieving and what I am getting right now with my system. So measuring, improving based upon the measurement, whatever we have gone, and then improving on the system. So everything needs to be measured, and then it is a sharing and a collaborative environment, which is one of the key principle of DevOps. Yeah, and all those things need to have a kind of a mindset of a system thinking. We need to have a culture of continuous experimentation. Yeah, fail fast, rise, and again try to uh, improve on whatever you have learned by the failures. Okay, it is all about fail fast and learn from it, rather than yeah not experimenting it anything and just sitting idle and just contemplating that if I have done that, I would have seen this product go to production in X number of days. So fail fast, learn from them, and do continuous experimentation. Okay, so these are the few of the principles in DevOps. Okay. Yeah. So we talked about the new tools. Yeah. So it is all about change in the mindset with new tools, and which will help us to prepare for the and the new and the fast-paced world. Then we'll move to different practices which are being followed in the DevOps lifecycle. What are the different practices? So with any application development lifecycle, we need some sort of a code repository. What is code repository? Yeah, and that is called as code repo. Okay, that comes from some sort of a system called version control system. What is version control system? Wherein you are writing your application code, storing it in a location which is called as code repository, and on top of this code repository, you will have something called as versioning. Yeah, why versioning is needed? Because we might do multiple things to a particular piece of software, and we need to test it out whether it is behaving as expected. If it is not, we want to roll back to the previous version where it was working everything fine, and we might need to create a third version where we want to just overcome the challenges we have seen in the second version. So one of the practice in DevOps is to use version control system, yeah, for your code repository. Then another principle is to do automated testing of whatever you are doing. Okay, you do testing of whatever the application code you have built. You do some kind of a unit testing. Yeah, you do some kind of a feature testing of it, yeah, feature testing and so on. There are different ways where you want to test your application against certain things. Yeah, so you have to have a automated testing in place. Then having a proactive monitoring and generating the metrics will help you to improve on your system performance. So this is another very important practice which then DevOps practice is based upon Kanban and the Scrum. Okay, it adopts the agile methodology where where everything is very fast, agile in a manner that you are not waiting on somebody to get the task done and then you are going to do your work. Yeah, that's a waterfall method. Okay, so DevOps is all about being agile. Hmm? Then whatever we are doing within the environment, it needs to be very visible to the people who are actually working on it, and those will be controlled by some sort of a change management system. Hmm? So whatever changes we are doing, they are done in a controlled environment. People are aware that what they are changing, what is the consequences of those changes, and what is the rollback plan if the change is not as expected. So these are the things. Then configuration management. Yeah, this is very critical when you have huge number of machine. Yeah, I can manage one system, yeah, with all its software release, patches upgrade, packages upgrade, all those things I can do for a one system or two system or five system. But when it comes to handling thousands of system, then we need to rely on some sort of a automated configuration management system. So this is also one of the key practices followed in the DevOps. Then very popular, which is nothing but CI, CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment and delivery. Okay, and that's how we get the rapid pace of software application release in the DevOps. So we'll see that in the later slides in a more detail. Hmm? Then use of virtualization, clouds and container has actually accelerated the adoption of the DevOps practices. Now you have a playground to practice any kind of a new application. Yeah, you don't have to wait for the servers to come to your on-premise from on-premise to your location, and then you build the server and then start building your application on top of it. No, gone are the days. Now you have a complete control in terms of when you want to spin your machine, how do you want to spin a machine, and once your work is done, you can let go. That is all because of the virtualization and the cloud. Hmm? And then we need to follow something called as tool chain approach. Yeah, we do a tool chain approach wherein we have multiple uh, building blocks which are going to help us to really to get the end result in a DevOps. Okay, so all those things are the best practices, the practices which are followed in the DevOps. Any queries, question on this? Hmm? Any thoughts? Anybody who has any questions, queries on this? Are you able to follow me? Yes, no?
Do we require any shell scripting or coding part here?
Yes, I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I do have a question in configuration management and continuous development delivery, right? When you mentioned something, I didn't understand what you meant by configuration management.
So configuration management is something, I'll tell you that. Like I have a Linux server. Okay, I have a Linux server and I want to actually upgrade the version of my Linux server. Yeah, software upgrade I want to do. Now, if I have just one machine, I can very well log in into that machine and do the software version by giving certain commands. But what if I have hundreds of machines with me? How do I going to do it? Yeah, I need some kind of a tool which will automate it. Either the tool will push the upgrade to this 100 machines, or this 100 machine will go to some centralized server, pull that things and get upgraded. Okay, and that will be done by using some sort of a configuration management system.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Got you.
So that is what I mean to say, that configuration management. Okay. This is not just limited to this certain configuration, for example, software upgrade, patches, and all those things. These tools are very sophisticated. They also play a role of a ISE. Yeah. So tools which are there in the market called Ansible, Chef, Puppet, they also provide you infrastructure provisioning capabilities. Terraform is one of the example. Hmm? Okay. Yeah. Uh, yes. Any other questions on this slide and something which we have seen before this?
Then why don't you just follow up on the continuous integration deployment delivery?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is, to rephrase what you said about that? What is, can you, in a basic term, what is that?
Okay, okay. I will come to that because I have other slides. So I'll come to that. Hold for a minute.
Okay,
Your question.
all right.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
How many types of tools are we going to learn in this process or in this course?
Okay. So there's a syllabus. Okay, I will show you that syllabus once we finish this, and then you will be able to have understanding. But let me assure you that we are going to cover all the tools which are majorly used in the industry. So tools like your Docker, yeah, your Kubernetes, your Ansible, your Jenkins, your Git, all those things will be covered in this syllabus. So we'll see that in more details.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
So coming back to our PPT, this is how you will look at the DevOps tools ecosystem. Okay. Anybody remember this sign? What is this? What is the meaning of this?
Infinite.
Yeah, it's an infinite loop, correct? And that's all about the DevOps. It's not just a static thing, but it's kind of a continuous infinite loop of things which will help you to improve on certain things which you have already deployed and want to deploy. So then this this complete life cycle can be actually broken into different components. For example, code, yeah, plan, monitor, operate, deploy, release, test, build, and so on. And there are tools which are mapped to certain functionalities as part of this DevOps tool ecosystem. Okay. So for example, if I want to save my code, yeah, if I want to work with my code, what are the different options? I have Git, okay, I have Bitbucket, GitLab, and so on. Then if I want to plan, I want to do configuration, yeah, I have something called a Chef, Puppet, yeah. Then, then yeah, these are the configurations, Chef, Puppet, and Simple. Salt Stack is also. If I want to monitor my application, I have tools like Splunk, New Relic, Nagios, Dynatrace, all those things. Then how do I plan the release of the application? I can do it by using Jenkins. I can use it by a Bamboo CI. I can use something called a Circle CI. How do I test it? By using tools like Selenium, JUnit, all those things. How do I build my application? I use Maven for Java-based application and so on. So these are the complete tools which are going to be utilized within the DevOps ecosystem. Okay. Any queries till now? Before we move to the CI and CD part. Okay, so I'll move. Yeah. So now what is a CI and CD? Yeah. So continuous integration and continuous delivery are ways how you release your application. So there are certain building blocks. First is the source, okay, where you have your application code. You have the application code which is committed by your developer. That developer will create that code and keep it in some kind of a source control management system or version control system. Hmm? Using that code, you are going to build an environment. Okay, whatever changes they are built. Now you are going to test the code. You are going to test that code. And once you have tested and you are sure that everything is as expected, you are going to deploy onto some kind of a server. Yeah. And once you deploy, the application is there for you to actually utilize, and you will then look for the feedback from different people so that you can improve on it, and this feedback loop continues. Yeah. So this feedback loop continues. You then make changes into your code, build it, test it, and again deploy. Is this making sense to you? Yeah? Okay. Okay. So this process is nothing but your CI. Okay. CI is nothing but a process which allows multiple developers, multiple people to collaborate and work on a single source of code. Okay. This is single source of code, and then use that code to deploy your application. Okay. So this is nothing but your CI, wherein you are going to build quickly and automatically from the source code which is developed by the developer, and those are stored in some kind of a repository. So this is nothing but your CI. Okay. And for that you can use a repository like Git, GitHub, Git. Okay. So there's a difference between Git and GitHub, but people are using those things interchangeably. So anything like, for example, if you have new features, this is done by a team which is based out of India. Any kind of a front end changes, UI changes are done by the US team, and anything on the back end changes are done by the UA team. All those people are going to commit their code into a single repository, and from there you are going to do the CI. Make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is one of the aspect which is happening behind the Amazon website. People from different parts of the geographic location are changing the codes, committing at certain location, and then the code is picked up in an automated way, and those are being then released as part of the CI process. Okay, so it is all about continuously integrating the code from different people, to build your application, test it, and then deploy. Okay, so let's look at a concept of CD. What is this CD? Yeah, so you automate the build, test it, and then deploy, but deploy it when it is required. Okay, so in this case, what is there? That there is a human intervention which is going to stop you from deploying it. And why this is needed? Any thoughts? Any thoughts on this? Just a vague answer. Yeah, anything. There's no right and wrong.
Live.
Hmm?
Go live, right?
Yeah,
go live.
but I am stopping that here by using some kind of a control. Okay, so I'll give you answer. Now, look at your lower environment where you are testing everything and everything is working as expected, and then you are from dev environment you went to the you did went into the stage environment. Yeah, everything works. From stage environment now you want to push to the production environment. What if there are certain bugs which are found in the stage environment, and if they are not handled at stage environment without any kind of a due diligence, they will be released into the production environment, and that is going to create a problem for the end user. So when we do a continuous delivery, we have some sort of a checking mechanism where we check by using some kind of a manual intervention or simply a approval mechanism. Okay, so in that case, there is a manual approval which is added in the CD, which is continuous delivery process, and that is very needed when we release our application to the production environment. Okay, we can very well go with the another method, which is nothing but the continuous delivery. Sorry. Yeah, what is the continuous delivery? It's a process of deployment process where you are pushing the code changes automatically, building it, testing it, and then releasing it. And all these are happening automatically. There is no manual. So we have continuous, okay, continuous delivery where we have a human intervention, okay, where we build, test, prepare for release, then have a human intervention and then deliver, then we have something called as continuous deployment. In continuous deployment, what you do not wait for any kind of a human intervention. It is completely automated, and you take the application code right from your lower environment and you deploy it to the production as well. Okay. Did you got the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment now? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the difference. Okay. We have a decision making authorization when it comes to the delivery, but in continuous deployment, there's no approval. It is completely automated. Generally, this is done for lower environment. Yeah, lower environment. Okay, you don't do that, and this is done for the production environment. Okay, so default for testing and not for production. Clear? Any doubts till this now? Okay, fine. I will just give you a brief mapping of the different component when it comes to the AWS side of things. Yeah, so there are different components which are used in AWS. We use code commit, a service from AWS for our code. Then we use something called as code build, code deploy, and then you use something called as ops work for configuration management, and then deliver it to the production. There are other tools. For example, this is Git. Yeah, this is Git. This is icon of Git. Then we have CI, uh, Solano CI, Circle CI, Bamboo CI. Then we have use some sort of a IAC tool, IAC, which is Cloud Formation in AWS, and then we have the PaaS services called Elastic Beanstalk. So this is how it is mapped. So with that, I will stop here for the demo and I will take you to the syllabus. Okay. And then I am ready to take any questions. Yes. Just a minute. Yes. This is the syllabus. What we are going to cover. We are going to cover the introduction to DevOps. Okay. Then we are going to need Linux and networking concept. And somebody asked in between that, do we need shell scripting? Yeah. So the answer is yes. We need to learn shell scripting. We need to learn at least one language like Python, which is very, very useful when we are actually doing infra provisioning, doing some sort of automation work. Yeah. And so on. So you need to learn little bit of Python and little bit of shell scripting as well. Yeah. And if you want to work on the Linux side of things, PowerShell will come in handy.
I do have a question right with regards to this, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a little bit freaked out about this model 2.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes me run away from DevOps classes, because
Okay.
sometimes I feel like Linux, that black screen sometimes can scare you away. But
Okay. No, don't worry, I would say. Yeah, don't worry about it. These are the things you will learn by practice. It is not that it is very kind of an alien technology. Many people have learned it, many people have mastered it. So it is all about practice. It is all about how much time you want to give to learn those things. And believe me, in today's world, it is very easy. Okay, with all the AI assistant coding tools which are there in the market, with ChatGPT and with all the tools which are there, the life has become very easy for a developer. But that does not mean that you do not bring the innovation into the software development from the human point of view. Okay, so yes, these things can be learned. These are not a big deal. You can learn those things. You need to pay some attention to it, and we will cover Linux commands, okay, bash scripting, scripts, and all those things, different concept about the Linux. Then we'll also cover the cloud provider AWS with few basic services like EC2 instance. What is EC2 instance? Yeah, what is VPC, networking, roles, policies, S3, all those things. Then introduction to the shell scripting is also there. Shell scripting will go hand in hand what we learn in the Linux. Yeah. Then we are going to pay more attention on the source code management system or version control system like GitHub and Git. Yeah. Then we'll see the Git command, Git CLI. Then we'll start with the CI tool like Jenkins. Okay, in there we are going to do multiple projects in terms of how do you release application and all those things, build application using the CI. We will also look at a Maven as a build tool. Hmm? Then we'll look at the configuration management tool called Chef. We are going to use Prometheus and Grafana for the monitoring, and then we are also going to look at the Ansible. Yeah, so all those things will be covered. Now, very, very important, we are going to cover Docker. Docker is the base for your all microservice-based containerized application. So we'll look at with different Docker commands. How do you build Docker images? How do you create a Docker file? All those things will be taught in this module. This is going to be very thorough module, and then we'll have Kubernetes. Kubernetes also we will do quite a deep dive as compared to what it is written here. We will look at what are deployment, what is services, yeah, what are replica sets, what is the architecture of the Kubernetes. We will do a lot of deep dives on the Kubernetes as well. Again, we'll not have a full-fledged Kubernetes course as part of this because Kubernetes in itself is a very, very huge, vast topic. Okay, but we will make sure that we are going to touch base upon each and every component which are mandatory, which are needed when you build any kind of a containerized application on Kubernetes. Okay, so we will cover the Kubernetes as well. Then we are going to use Terraform as ISC tool. We will see and we'll learn what are the different components which are going to be used in the Terraform, what are modules, what is state files and all those things. And then we are going to couple that with the various projects. We are going to do some projects, yeah, end-to-end projects of a complete sophisticated system, clone of a certain website and like that. And that is what we are going to cover as part of the curriculum. So now, any question in this?
So these tools can be practiced on VM, virtual machines.
The tools, the various things what we are going to teach in the
Terraform. Yeah.
yes, we are going to use virtual machines. We are going to use the AWS infrastructure for testing out or trying out. We are going to use VirtualBox as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, I want to know that, sir, what is the course duration and from which date it will start?
Okay. From which date it will start, I will leave it to Kiran and the team. Okay. But the course
Okay.
duration would be around 50 hours, 60 hours, somewhere around that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Sir,
40,
sir, I
50.
want to know, sir, it is about a few months or few weeks
Uh,
or
yeah. So again, Chanchal, I would say that it depends upon the requirement you have. Like for example, we also do a kind of a fast track weekend batch. Yeah. We also do daily things, all those things. So for that, yeah, you can talk to Kiran and the team and get a understanding.
sir, actually, sir, I want to know, sir, what is the sir, what is the class type? Sir, is there not unstoppable class or per day or 3 days in a week?
Yeah, so generally we can have a per day class as well with 1 hour, 1.5 hour daily. It
Okay.
can be almost 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours also in weekend. Like
Okay.
8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday as well. So
Okay. And sir, all classes will be, sir, recorded.
yes, classes will be recorded.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
but that does not mean you have to skip the class. Okay,
No, sir, definitely,
please,
definitely.
please remember, if you skip a class, yeah, I'm
Yes,
100% sure that you are not going to watch the recording. Yeah, and this
yes,
is
sir,
based
yes.
upon my experience. Okay, don't
Yes.
rely on that I am going to get a recording of it. Okay, and then I am going to watch it and I'm going to do it. Okay, don't do that. Okay,
Okay, sir.
then yeah, this is not the right class for you because you are paying the fees for live class. Okay, you are not
Yes,
paying for
yes.
the recorded. Yeah, you can get the recorded thing in 500 rupees as well. Okay,
Yes.
from
So definitely
Indian.
I will definitely, sir,
Yeah,
I will attend the class live in live.
yeah.
And for emergency, for
Yeah, that's okay. Emergency is,
yes,
yeah, in one of cases it is fine.
yes, sir.
Sure,
Actually, sir, I am sir MCA's second year student.
Okay, wonderful.
Techno India University, Calcutta.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, you have taken a decision to learn this thing at a your in the academics. That is a good
Yes,
decision, I would say. Yeah,
yes.
So
good.
do we have
Yeah,
any offline classes for this one?
Kiran ma'am, can you answer that? Or if you want to answer later on, please, means you can connect with them.
Yeah, so if
Yeah,
if it is better, we can do it on weekend basis like Saturday Sunday. It will be
absolutely.
helpful for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I do that. So yeah, you just check with Kiran ma'am. And if we have enough number of people, we can also do offline batch.
And one
Mhm.
more thing, if I'm not going with DevOps class only, I will recommend only for AWS classes. Do we have any classes for the same? Like
Yes, we do
AWS
have
Pro?
it. We do have
Okay.
it. Yeah, we
Okay.
can.
Thank you.
Yeah, if even half of the audience from here are ready for AWS class, then what we can do is we can start with AWS class and then continue that class as a DevOps class as well.
Because that is the reason I'm asking you, because I'm currently working as a part of the database administrator. So
Yes.
AWS is required for the same. So that is that is the reason
Correct.
I'm looking for
Correct.
that.
Correct. No, no, definitely. If you guys are interested in the AWS,
Yes.
I would strongly recommend that you should first do the cloud class and then continue with the DevOps thing.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
also. I have same question. I'm also looking AWS because right now I'm working as a business engineer Mastercard.
Okay.
So I'm looking AWS because I want like Lambda, learning Lambda, and all things like Lambda
Sure.
function.
Sure. Correct. Correct. Yeah. So yes, those who are interested then can ask Kiran or Shruti for it, and then
Please
if we
fill
have,
up the
yeah,
So
please
from
fill
which
up
date, sir?
the
So from which
Google
date, sir,
form.
this
More
class?
information. Our team will be connect with you.
okay, yeah. Somebody was saying something. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I want to know, sir, from which date this course will start?
So basically in the industry, so there are a lot of tools are there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you almost introduced Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
So as per your experience, so majority, so
Mm-hmm.
which tools they can use this?
So if you look at the major tools which are being used in the market, everybody uses Git. Okay, everybody,
Yes, sir,
almost
GitHub.
everybody, yeah,
GitHub.
yeah. So different flavors like it. Somebody will use Bitbucket, yeah. Somebody will use Git. Then they will use some sort of a CI tool. Then Jenkins is very popular. Almost you will see almost 60-70% people will use Jenkins. But then there are different variant of Jenkins as well. Somebody is using GitHub Action right now. Yeah. Uh, so there are different tools which are available, but the majority is people are using Jenkins. Harness is there, yeah. Argo is there, Argo CD is there, yeah. So there are other tools as well, but basic principle is similar, yeah. So certain feature functionality might differ. Then ISC tool, a lot of organizations are using Terraform. The
But
only
as of
reason,
now, mostly for running the pipeline, they are using Jenkins only.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Majority of them, yeah. Then ISC tool, people are using Terraform because it is kind of a agnostic of any vendor. Terraform works with your Azure, Terraform works with your AWS, it works with GCP and all. So people use Terraform, yeah. So ISC tool. Then for monitoring, people use Prometheus, Grafana. These are the open source tools, yeah, for visualization, collecting metrics, and all those things. There are other tools as well which are open source, yeah. For example, the tools like means all of them are open source, but Dynatrace, Datadog, New Relic. These are the other tools which are available in the market for observability and monitoring. So
Okay.
so these are the tools which are there, but nowadays there are so many tools which have come in the market. Everybody catering to certain needs and features. So that's it is from company to company basis. They evaluate the need, and if certain tool is matching their need, then they go for that tools. But for you, if you want to start into DevOps, understand this basic things like Git, Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, Ansible Chef, yeah, and then ISC tool. If you know this 5-6 tools, then you will be able to learn new things as per your job role demands. Hmm?
So every tool behind there will be a code, right? So we have to pass the code for this tool and deploy into the servers, right?
It's not like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
means not everywhere you will have a code. But because that is a much easier way, a declarative way of doing the things. Yes, you will encounter codes everywhere, but you need to learn that. Okay, you need to do little practice. Again, there are multiple ways how you can do that, and there are different tools which are help you to do that. Yeah, so but do not get afraid that you have to do coding. Remember, the difference between the salary of anybody who's only working as a cloud engineer and somebody who's working as a DevOps is huge. Yeah, there's a huge difference. Okay, so don't limit yourself. First, try it out and then work hard and you will succeed.
think I think what I've seen a lot now in the industry, a lot of those AWS solution jobs are even requiring you to have DevOps experience. A lot of
Yes.
them, about more than 70% of them now. So I feel like based on my personal
Uh-huh.
experience of looking at jobs out there, I
Uh-huh.
mean, and also having friends who are into cloud. A lot of interviews now, if you go to solution architect interviews, they'll ask you that, hey, have you used all these DevOps tools like Jenkins?
Correct.
You have experience with CD?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think that my opinion is that you doing DevOps, you are in a bigger chance. You're in a very bigger chance
Landing a job. Yes.
of being competitive in the market.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hello.
Got it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
As a DevOps engineer, is we have to master all the tools like Terraforms and Ansible
You
for a
have to
beginning
learn.
level.
Yes, for a beginning level, you have to learn all those things. The 5, 6 tools I have told you have to learn those things. And
In depth.
uh, means again, you can be a master on Terraform. Okay, you can be master on the CI/CD tools. Okay, so yes, you can become master in something, but you need to know each and every tools, because they are part of a complete life cycle, a DevOps life cycle or application release life cycle. So you need to know those tools. Yeah, but in depth, how in depth you want to go, it's up to you. If you want to build specialization into Terraform, then yes, you can do that. Lot of large organization will have different teams to do different things. Yeah, for example, in large organization there will be a team which is only focusing on ISE. There will be a team which is only focusing on releasing the application. There will be only team which is going to do only CDCI. So it again depends upon company and what job role you want to do. But my suggestion is you need to understand all these 5, 6 tools. You need to know the tools in a much means deeper, like intermediate level at least. Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah, but don't get afraid. It is not that difficult.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take a last question and then we'll end the session. Anybody?
Yeah, I want to know what is the maximum package of an DevOps engineer in the market?
Raka. So maximum there is no limit. Okay. Now, if you look at the experience to the package, people who have experience of 5 years, 6 years are actually getting a package of almost 25 lakhs, 35 lakhs, 30 lakhs. It all depends upon your capabilities. Okay. Same DevOps engineer might get 10 lakhs as well if he's not that capable and he's not worked on a larger system, he's working on a smaller system. He might get just 10 lakhs. But a general trend which I have seen in the industry is people who are having experience of 5, 6 years are actually commanding a salary excess of 15 lakhs.
Okay.
Yeah, maximum there
You
is no limit, Raka. Yeah, there's no limit to human greed as well.
all right.
Okay, so with that we are going to end this demo session today, and I hope most of you enroll and we'll meet again. Okay, So thank you very much and all the best. Make a decision. Don't leave it for next session. Make a decision as soon as possible, because the more early you start learning, the better chance you will have. Okay.